Light or Bright. I'm the author of the foundational essay for Do Justice. I am associate pastor at First Presbyterian Church of Neenah, Wisconsin, where I live with my family, my 2 young kids, and way too many animals on our little farm. I was drawn to the topic of do justice because that's core to my theology, that we are more than just rules, and we as a church are more than just a social gathering, but rather we are to be the hands and feet of God in the world, that we are called to act and live in ways that bring about deep and profound justice in the world. I think justice sometimes becomes an abstraction, as if it's just a philosophical idea and a little too hard for us to puzzle through. And I think that we undersell ourselves when we think of it that way. And instead, that justice is simply deeply rooted in all of us and in our connection with our faith and our community and our history. We have a very clear sense of what is righteous and good in God's eyes, and that we are called to help create a world that better resembles that. At the core of the concept of do justice were 2 sort of underpinning ideas. One is the scripture, Micah 6:8, that really drives the sense that justice is central to who we are as Christians. And through that came the idea of mishpat, a Hebrew concept of justice that is something more than just a legalistic rules list that we have to follow and a way of keeping order in community, but it speaks to a deeper sense that there is right and there is wrong, there is fair, there is equity, there is justice, and the rule of law is meant to help guide our sense of those things and make sure that we are operating with fairness and with equity and with justice for everyone in our community. The 4 aspects that I focused on for this were see or recognize injustice, to check our prejudice, to speak up, and to do the work. We as a church are called to pursue justice, and it seems sometimes like the concept of social justice is a relatively new language, a new way of speaking about things in the life of the church, but it's what sets us apart, and it's what calls us to move from being internally focused, a glorified book club, into the externally focused and world-shaking thing that the church is and really always has been. From the very earliest days of the church, long before she looked like a church, it was about creating a world that was more equitable and more just, and not just aware of the needs of the poor, the needs of the imprisoned, the needs of the hurting folks of the world, but committed to changing that reality and creating a new world together. And that's been our entire legacy. And that's what we're called to be doing in the world today.